You can almost hear Kemi Badenoch, can't you, screaming, "This is going to be a disaster! Brace! Brace! Brace!" as the political seismograph trembles again. For those civil servants polishing their CVs and MPs scanning the exits, a newly and possibly catastrophic alliance is forming. Nigel Farage and Dominic Cummings have had dinner. Yes, that Farage who's hardly ever in Clacton, the man who spent more time in Mar-a-Lago, and that Dominic Cummings, the Machiavellian maestro behind the Vote Leave campaign, the COVID comms meltdown, the slow-motion political euthanasia of Boris Johnson. These two erstwhile enemies, once at daggers drawn over which Brexit faction would claim the official campaign mantle, have now shared bread and ideas, and Farage once called Cummings a horrible, nasty little man. How times have changed. Cummings recently called Farage depressing, and yet here we are, conspiring over starters and state failure. And what does this curious culinary convergence tell us? Cummings said it was a friendly chat about fixing broken Whitehall, but the subtext is clear. The establishment is now seen not just as ineffective but unreformable, and Cummings believes only an external force can smash the status quo, something akin to his 2020 COVID task force bypassing Whitehall to deliver vaccines. He sees in Farage not just a media brand, but a possible vessel for political demolition. And Farage, well, he's not here to wait until 2035, as he supposedly joked about outliving Lord Palmerston's premiership record. He wants power now. Reform UK may be eyeing 100 seats in the next election, and in Farage's mind, that's not a pressure group, it's a proto-takeover of the Conservative corpse. But let's not romanticise this as a renaissance of genius and grit. Reform UK is imploding under the weight of its own contradictions. Its treasurer, Robert Arthur Rupert Lowe, has been suspended over allegations of bullying, which he denies, and the grassroots feel betrayed by a centralised power grab. Ben Habib, formerly deputy leader, has publicly accused Farage of destroying the very movement that built him. Meanwhile, Cummings flirts with movements outside politics altogether. His latest venture, Looking for Growth, aims to bypass SW1 and parachute technocratic talent into government. In his eyes, Farage must grow up. Real policies, real donors, real candidates. Populism alone will not suffice. Well, I agree with that. And yet Farage appears more focused on jetting to Florida, fating Trump, registering 800 hours of outside work, more than many MPs achieve in their day jobs. He's dubbed MP for Mar-a-Lago by critics, and his reputation is increasingly that of a part-time parliamentarian with full-time ambition. And his latest £25,000 a table fundraising dinner in Florida is less constituency surgery and more Capitol Hill cosplay. Still, don't underestimate this duo. Cummings is hedging his bets. He loathes the Tories, despises Boris, and clearly believes Starmer lacks radicalism. He wants system change, not just political rotation. And Farage? He remains the most recognisable populist brand in British politics, however flawed, however messianic, however distracted by golden golf courses. So what are we left with? A combustible cocktail of grievance, charisma, and contempt for the status quo. One man seeking a movement to hijack, another a movement seeking a mission. A messiah looking for followers. Is it coherent? No. Is it serious? Possibly. Is it dangerous? Absolutely, undoubtedly. This is not just political theatre. This is a prelude to a possible insurgency, and in British politics, where institutions are weakened and trust is brittle, insurgents can go far before anyone notices the foundations have even cracked.